All right, so jumping subjects, we've got a YouTube question from JD. What is the max acceptable wait time for lift lines, and at what point should resorts cap lift ticket sales? I feel like anything over 5 to 10 minutes, I get agitated, and I get really agitated if it's like 15 to 20.
Mm-hmm.
And if we hit the 30-minute mark, I will strangle motherfuckers and kill kittens.
Yeah.
But with that said, I've been to a lot of resorts where I know how not to wait in the line, or I go at the right time where there really isn't a line.
Right.
It's always funny when I leave Summit County and I go somewhere and they're like, oh, the lines are so bad today. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? There's nothing bad here. But I think realistically, lines should flow smoothly. It should not be more, on a busy holiday, it should never be more than 15 minutes. The problem is, I think that they do need to cap tickets. Like Powder Mountain has a great thing with how they cap their tickets. So you know how max, I think it's like 3,200 people or something that would be on the hill. It might be a little more than that, but you're talking about something with 1,000 plus, a couple thousand acres or something. It's like the size of Vail almost.
Yeah, it's huge.
And it's huge. And they cap that. You know that saves the quality of snow. Now, places like Breckenridge are actually supposed to cap their sales. It's a deal with the town because town can't
handle the volume.
Can't handle the volume. So what they do, though, there's a fine, but they make more even with being fined if they just keep pushing out the sales. So when you're saying it's like President's Weekend at Breckenridge and it's 2-hour lift line, 2 hours just to get on, go up to the top, come down, and get in the line. I mean, it's not worth it. That's totally not worth it. And I think there needs to be a responsibility towards the consumer to be like, hey, sorry guys, we sold out of lift tickets. We did this. I think if more resorts would cap it, I think people would be like, you'd see more people being like, well, fuck it, I'm buying a season pass, because they're not capping season pass use that day, just day tickets. Especially if it's just your local resort and you normally go 10 times, you'd be like, fuck it, I bought the season pass, I'm going to go 20. And I think that would lead to more people riding. But I strongly believe that anything over 10 to 15, unless like high winds, chairlift stop, something like that.
Circumstances, normal flow without any interruptions, 10 to 15 minutes for sure. When you start to get interruptions, that can screw things up. And it can screw things up for a longer period of time. You get something that screws up a chair, and then it just, what that does is it just pushes everybody into basically the same block of movement. So you have the entire group start circling.
That happened at Copper opening day. American Eagle stopped, and I was trapped in the gondola for 43 minutes.
Fun times.
Fun times. So I made a lap, and then wandered around for a little bit until the line dissipated, and then went back and rode. But I mean, the crowd on that line was fucking astronomical, and it was just a mob of people. You see those photos from like Vail and shit, and you're like, it's aggressive. It's aggressive, yeah. It shouldn't ever get to that level, but as marketing gets better and people are like, oh, well, this flight's cheaper, and I bought this pass, and it's going to get me 5 days here, and I can just fly in and stuff. And that's the thing, is like, if resorts, I mean, their job is to generate the most revenue, and some places are just straight hurting, so the more people they put on, the more likely they can sell them a $25 cheeseburger. Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, the ticket sales do not drive the business. It's the concessions, and if they own the lodging and everything associated with it. Like, the resort drives you in, but if, let's say, you're shopping at only their stores, you're eating at only their restaurants, and staying in only their lodging.
And their rentals.
And the rental. Oh, my God. Rentals is a racket and a half on itself right there for rental equipment. Charging you $45 a day for something that was paid off months ago. Like, it's just a straight racket, and they can just churn them and run them through. Yep. But realistically, 5 to 10 is where it should be. Powder days, I'm a little more lenient. I get it. More people come out. They're fair weather riders. Yep. But last year at the Basin, I think I stood in a line for 35 minutes one time, and that was because everyone with an Epic Pass that had the military and shit was there. That's fucking obscene. And the funny thing was, they weren't even going to the good snow.
Oh, dude, that's just A-Basin.
Yeah.
I remember, that's always been the case at A-Basin. Like, I have my zones at A-Basin that I go to that are easy to get to. You can see most of them from the lift. And Nobody ever rides there. And I don't understand it, because it's not like it's bad terrain. And I have, like, people... A-Basin is so funny that way, that people, the second they get there, they just want to go straight to Pali, or they want to go straight off, like, to some of the stuff over in Zuma.
Well, the new one was the Beeves. Everyone wanted to go ride the Beeves, which was great. I was like, yes, I'll explore it next year.
Exactly.
Go.
Yeah.
Go. I'm going to go rip this wide open POW field that I know doesn't have any buried rocks.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of the big thing with it, is I think you hit this point where I think this is why A-Basin didn't renew their contract with Vail. It was just logistically it was a nightmare, and the parking lots were filling up, and they were having people were parking on the highway and shit. And that's it. But like when you go to Utah and it's a POW day and you see that line to Snowbird is all the way across the bridge and it's like an hour to get on the tram.
Mm-hmm.
That's obscene. That I've seen like the lines to KT22 at Squaw be aggressive. Mammoth is like last year I saw some really aggressive spring lines because they were still getting the snow.
I've heard stuff like that at Jackson even too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one time I went to Jackson, we were lucky and got there early enough, so we got second tram to the top, and I really wasn't, like, everyone's like, oh, this line is atrocious, but, I mean, we got on and we were up, maybe even the first, I can't remember, it wasn't that bad of a line, but everyone was making it out like it was the goddamn end of days, and I was like, I don't think you people know what a fucking lift line is, but, yeah, it's just... Resorts realistically need to look at it and be like, if we would cap it, it would be fine. Or if like they offer a half-day ticket, just have a window. Like, be like, you miss the cutoff by say 10:30, you can't get another ticket, especially if they have night skiing till 2 or something.
Yeah, definitely.
Be like, nope, you missed that window right there. Sorry. You know, I think that would do it. It's a weird scenario.
Yeah,
that's for sure.